All right, we're back, everybody. This is Stevie Breach coming to you, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the Extreme Rules 2014 match, which is a clusterfuck, in my opinion. A triple threat match. Why it's a triple threat match? I know why it is, because I watched Monday Night Raw this week, but basically, it doesn't make any sense. You go back to WrestleMania 30 in the pre-show match, you saw the breakup of Cesaro versus Jack Swagger. Basically, they had the match in hand. And just basically, just one mistake ended up costing, them as being the tag champions by beating the Usos. And, it led to, Cesaro beating up Swagger, Swagger beating up Cesaro, and, Cesaro leaving Jack Swagger laying. At the end of it, of course, they come back the Monday night after Raw. And Zeb's trying to get, Cesaro to calm down, say, that we're all a team, we need to come back together. And, Cesaro says, I'm not a Zeb guy, I'm a Paul Heyman guy. Paul Heyman comes out, he's the new Paul Heyman guy. Paul Heyman had been basically talking about this on Twitter, but basically because of, how Curtis Axel and Ryback both turned out as Paul Heyman guys, nobody was really even pumped out about this. But basically, since Cesaro seems like he's about the hottest shit there is in WWE right now, everybody jumped on this really fast. I mean, Paul was out there with Brock Lesnar when he beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. Everybody can see that basically, having the managerial skills of Paul Heyman means something. I mean, the guy beat the streak. I mean, it was 21 years of greatness, and it's all down the drain. It doesn't mean anything anymore. I mean, once you put 21-1 on there, you can pretty much say that, the other 21 wins, they're great matches. And they led up to Brock Lesnar beating him. Brock Lesnar is the one. I mean, really, everything Paul has said in all of his promos really do have a meaning. But I mean, this should be a match when it comes down to it. Rob Van Dam versus, Jack Swagger. No, what the fuck am I talking about? This should be just a match. Cesaro versus Jack Swagger. That is the match. That is the team that broke up. Those are the guys that went in different directions. We need to find out who the Marty Jannetty of this team is. We all know that Cesaro is on the rise, but we need to know, basically where Jack Swagger is going from here. Jack Swagger is a guy who's been dead and buried. Everybody knows about his, world famous World Heavyweight Championship run of 2010, where basically, he came out of it looking like not much. He had some matches. He won the U.S. title somewhere along the way, and, he was gone for 6 months, doing really nothing after he walked out on Raw because he felt that, he needed to get his, focus back in the game after having so many losing matches on Monday Night Raw. He walked out on AJ, made her flip out, and he comes back, has a match on SmackDown, comes back and wins the Elimination Chamber. I do think that basically Cesaro deserves to win this match. But basically, I don't think this is the end of Jack Swagger. Everybody knows that I'm a big fan of this, and it just means a lot to me that he's on pay-per-view, because there might come a day when he's not on pay-per-view anymore, and I don't really have anything to cheer for. I do think that he has a real bright future. I wouldn't be surprised if he does become World Heavyweight Champion, WWE Champion, somewhere along the way down there. Definitely a U.S. title or an Intercontinental title will be sooner down the road for him. He's still coming into his own. I know that he's been in the WWE for 4 years, and, that seems sort of weird, but he deserves it. He's a good wrestler. Rob Van Dam, on the other hand, I mean, this is the guy that showed up to the Staples Center asking, why nobody had been calling him, why he wasn't in the buzz for WrestleMania. People thought maybe he was going to be added into the, the Andre the Giant 30-man Royal Rumble Classic. Van Dam, ends up having a debut the next night on Raw in a moment that I really don't even remember. I mean, I guess I just knew that he was going to be out there. So much of me at Monday Night Raw was just trying to absorb the weekend of WrestleMania 30. I tried to take it where I cheered for the guys I liked. I didn't really take it all that seriously. I was really pumped, though, for that Triple H versus Daniel Bryan match that never happened at the end, which leads to the Evolution match at this show. But I'm not sure. I mean, I really was sort of pumped that Triple H was going to win the title, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, I was trying to remember, that's probably not going to happen. This guy just won the belt at WrestleMania 30. No matter how bad you screw this guy over, he needs to be the man of your company because he just won the belt at the biggest show after having a basically a 6-month storyline building up to this big match, and you're not just going to take it away from him after one night. But as being a big Triple H fan, I really did believe it. Rob Van Dam comes back. He doesn't really have a lot of push behind him. I mean, like, people are glad that he's back. They like to watch him wrestle matches on TV. I mean, like, if you go back to his last run, like, he had the big fanfare of showing up at the Money in the Bank match. And then I bet you can ask 1,000 people what he did after that during his run, and they're not really going to remember his match at SummerSlam on the pre-show against Dean Ambrose. They're not going to remember his feud against Alberto Del Rio. They just didn't really mean anything. And him being added into this match just basically shows me we don't really have anything for Rob. You know, we just got tired of so many people asking, you know, when's RVD coming back? Maybe they were a little embarrassed by him showing up at the Staples Center unannounced and asking for something. Maybe they were scared he was going to go to TNA again, which I guess he's pretty much openly said he's not going to. I don't know, maybe they're scared of Global Force Wrestling, but I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I know in 2002 that Mr. Perfect and Goldust got WWE contracts just basically for the fact that WWE didn't want those guys to go to TNA, even at that point of their career, and they got brought back for the Royal Rumble. So I don't know what they're doing with Van Dam. I don't really see a whole lot in his future. They only really have one championship right now. It's on Daniel Bryan. I don't see Rob Van Dam becoming that guy. During his last run, I really thought that basically, you know, Van Dam would have been a good guy to put into the Paul Heyman family. I thought it made sense with him being an ECW guy, but so many people like Rob Van Dam, but then again, so many people like Cesaro right now. Also, he's pretty much the hottest guy on the whole roster that everybody knows is going to be a big thing. I mean, there's him and there's Roman Reigns. People know that both of those guys are going to be big-time champions in the future, and they want to get behind him. In this match, I'm picking Cesaro to get the win. A little piece of me thinks that maybe, well, definitely Swagger's not going to win this match, but maybe Van Dam will get the win, but I don't really know how that bids in, because I think most people want to see this match, see Cesaro and Swagger go at it. Maybe they just didn't want to have these guys as heels have a match against each other, even though they broke up as a tag team. They just figured they wanted to put a babyface in there. But to me, still, it openly doesn't make sense. So many people thought Cesaro was going to turn babyface. He's still heel. There's some people thinking that maybe they're going to go along this whole thing of Paul Heyman building up, you know, Brock Lesnar so much, and you know, Cesaro getting jealous that it leads to a Cesaro versus Brock Lesnar match. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with that. I mean, we've seen Cesaro beat Randy Orton. We've seen Cesaro almost beat Jack Swagger. No, we've seen Cesaro almost beat John Cena. You would think that, you know, somewhere down the road, he needs to get the big win also, like Daniel Bryan, to put him over the top. But we'll see what's going down. It's going to be a good event. We'll go on to the next match after this, and, you know, I'll see you on down the road. Peace out.